this. This guy, do you have God of War? I just said out on my PlayStation. Anyway, welcome everyone to an all-new episode of GVN Review. Today we will be breaking down the brand new trailer for Last of Us Part 2. Again, we say this all the time. These video games take you on a cinematic journey. And Last of Us was a huge hit with the first one. People have been dying for this second one.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this cinematic trailer was 1,000 times better than the last one we got. Remember the last one we got? A lady was hanging upside down. Someone cut her down, and she had to kill someone to escape or whatever. It was
I would consider that as like a tease.
It felt like a full
compared
scene.
to this.
Felt like a full scene though.
I guess, yeah. It's been so long since I watched it. It's been a while.
It's been so long since it came out. The game is supposed to come out a while ago. So apparently it looks like, I could be wrong, but it looks like the release of this game is June 6th of this year. Because it said or June 14th, something like that. Because I think it said like 14/6/2020. And I'm like, 14's not a month. And I'm like, oh, maybe it's the day.
I'm like, May 29th. Or
May 29th?
Yeah, May 29th. So it's next month.
No, this month.
This month, yeah.
Me and AJ are not.
Coronavirus is messing up our. It's messing up our timestamp right
now. No, we me and AJ gotta get ourselves on the whatever. Anyway, the trailer for Last of Us 2 came out today. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I was telling AJ before we started this video, I don't have PlayStation, and it's not because like I can't get it. I don't want it. I've always been an Xbox. Well, not always been, but I've been an Xbox kid for as long as I can remember. So to me, once you've played with an Xbox controller, it's so weird to go smaller to a PlayStation one.
You can always switch. You can always go between PlayStation and Xbox.
Sure. I'm not saying that it's impossible. I'm only speaking for me. I've done it because my dad has PlayStation, and I don't like how small it feels. I feel like I have big hands, so like that controller is so small to me. But anyway, that's not about that. So I have not played the first Last of Us, but one thing I do for any PlayStation exclusive game, I watch all the cutscenes, especially for more of the popular games. So I did it with God of War. I did it with Spider-Man. Even though I did play and almost beat Spider-Man on my dad's PlayStation. I did it with the first Last of Us. I did it with Uncharted. I just like to be a part of these stories. So if any of them does turn itself into a movie, I'm not at a disadvantage because I do know the story. Maybe don't know how the game plays, but I know the story. But I will say this, AJ. I kind of count my PlayStation experience, well, not experience, but recently having a PlayStation. I played Uncharted on PSP when it came out for PSP.
Yeah.
So, like, I've played an Uncharted game. Like, I feel I need to say that I've played one. But no, I will say one thing PlayStation's missing out on is, could you picture if PSP came out now and you could play Spider-Man on it, God of War on it, the new Last of Us on it? PlayStation might be, if they could do PSP properly, and reintroduce it, it would get Switch out of here. I tell you that right now, it would get Switch right out of here.
I'm not a fan of handheld games, though. Besides, like for Nintendo DS and Pokemon games, I'm not really that big of a fan.
I like handheld games, gaming only because, and it was funny because Joel was saying he never takes a Switch off the dock, and to me, I like the idea of, all right, it's going to be a long car ride. I got my Switch. Or, I'm going to go visit my mom in Virginia. That's a flight, so I got my Switch. I don't like, most of it's probably my ADHD, but I don't like to be still too long. So, like, I like to be able to move around and still be able to play something. So that's why handhelds to me are always a priority. So when I heard about Switch, I was like, gotta get that. But no, I mean, if PlayStation did reintroduce the PSP, it would get Switch out of here because the exclusives are just better. Like, you're not telling me that you're playing Pokemon over a brand new Spider-Man game. Like
I
it's
mean, Pokemon's still pretty popular, so.
you would play it. So if they released the brand new Spider-Man, let's say a year or two from now,
Mhm.
and Pokemon had a new game, and you could only get one, you get Pokemon for Switch rather than.
I'll get Pokemon for Switch because I'd rather play Spider-Man or Last of Us on the big screen. I think
Well,
Last
I
of
mean,
Us
you.
Pokemon is more of a cinematic, even though it's mostly gameplay is more cinematic than Pokemon or
But
Super
remember,
Mario.
the PSP was compatible, so like you could play it on your PS whatever 5, 6, whatever we would have by that point.
Hmm.
You could play it on that and then transfer it to your PSP and play on the go. So it's not like you could only play it on your PSP because that's how the PSP and the PlayStation 3 work. You could play like MLB and then like save it and then continue it on your PSP. So it's not drastically different than what the Switch was. But the Switch, you can obviously put it in the dock and then play it on your big screen TV. So it's not that different. But I get your point and I respect it. But back to Last of Us 2. You've played Last of Us. You have PlayStation. So the floor is yours, man. Tell me about the feels of this trailer. How are you feeling seeing the
I
characters out there?
overall I love how it feels. I love the grittiness. I love how dark it is. That specific shot where they ride into the city and that during that sunset or sunrise, whatever, I can't never tell the difference. But I just thought that was visually stunning. That was probably the most peaceful moment out of the whole trailer because after that it just becomes so brutal where you see all the I forgot what you call them. I'm just gonna say zombies because I can't think of the name. But the zombies grab a hold of Ellie, and I was like, oh god, really hope she doesn't die on this one. So it definitely had me on the edge of my seat, and I just can't wait to play this game.
Was the first one open world?
It was open world in the sense of like God of War, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Or
no, it makes
yeah.
perfect sense. It makes perfect sense. I'll say this: I'm not a huge gamer. I never try to be. I never try to act like I am. There's one specific type of gaming that I prefer over everything, and it's always been open world.
Same.
I like the idea of being able to, and that's why everyone, when I say Grand Theft Auto is my favorite game ever, they always think, oh, because you can like run over people and stuff. And I'm like, no, because I don't have to do a set mission. I could just roam the city, drive around, steal a helicopter, steal a plane, buy an entire airport. Like I could explore. I'm not tied down to, hey, you have to do this.
That's why I'm liking Red Dead Redemption right now. This is I played the first time I played was last week, and
What, the first one or the second one?
no, the second one. I played the
Oh,
first one.
don't scare me like that. Don't scare
Yeah,
me.
but I'm just stuck on it. I'm not even doing the story right now, and I just been at it for like a week, just roaming around because
And how
I,
much fun
I
is
love
that?
it so much. Mm,
Right?
yeah,
See, I mean, because it's like when you tell me that there's bears or wolves out there, or deer, and I could hunt them. I want to experience that. I want to experience just going for a horseback ride. I know all this probably sounds crazy to like the average person. Like, why do you want to do normal things in a video game? But when you have the ability to do so, it's freeing. And you think of games like Uncharted or uh the new Star Wars game that came out or
mhm.
Last of Us, stuff like that. They're open world in the sense of it's not like
It's
boom,
limited.
do this,
It's
boom, do that,
limited.
boom, do that. Like you
Mhm.
can roam a little bit, but I would love if Last of Us had the ability of I can get in a car and drive around. Or I could walk around, find food, walk around, scavenge, stuff like that. I like the freeing the freedom of it. So to me, free roam has always been
See,
my go-to.
the thing with that, I think with that limited type of um world building or was it open world gaming, I think they want to focus more on the story and the visual storytelling rather than the vastness of you can just do this or do that. I think they just wanted to focus on that specific story rather than just the
which
game.
which I get, but in I don't want to say this is fact. I'm just saying it as my opinion. I feel as though open world games are longer. than a straight up, this is your mission, this is your mission, this is your mission.
It's longer because you have a lot more things to do.
And that's
You're not focused on a side mission or anything.
if I'm paying $60, right, and
Mhm.
I beat a game within, let's say, a few weeks, to me, I'm pissed. I hate that. I really, really, really hate that. A, it means your game was too easy. B, it just means your game was too short. And C, it makes me regret that I didn't go buy an open world game that I know has secondary missions, third missions, fourth missions. You could just roam. So if you want to just get on Grand Theft Auto one day and just drive around or play online with friends, you can. And that has nothing to even do with your main story. So to me, that's what separates a lot of open world games from games like Last of Us, because it lasts longer. Like I've known people that are like, yo, I'm still playing like the last Grand Theft Auto, the one with Nico. And I'm like, well, it's because there's still stuff you could do. If there's people playing online, you can still play that one. This newer one, when the new one comes out, I'll still probably be playing this current one because there's just still so much you could do, man. They have new storylines to play online with and stuff like that. But as far as this trailer, as someone who saw the cutscenes for the first one, felt invested in these characters, I really look forward to seeing where this story plays out. Mainly because we will be getting a show from this, not from this specific video game, but from this franchise. And I feel like this could be a hit. This could be a big, big, big hit. I'm
Better than
interested.
Walking Dead.
Well, no, this is what I was about to say. You took the words right out of my mouth. I was just about to say, because I just finished Living Walking Dead, or whatever the spinoff is called. Fear the Walking Dead. Sorry, Fear the Walking Dead. I just finished that. And both that and Walking Dead bore me because it's way too much dialogue. It's written in dialogue,
Mhm.
and I'm like, in a show where you just want to see people kill zombies, there's a lot of talking.
A lot of talking, a lot of walking.
A lot of talking, a lot of walking. It is legit the zombie Lord of the Rings.
Basically, yeah.
So I look at it and I go, what made Last of Us special was seeing the cutscenes for the first game and how fluid it was. How it was very much story driven, very much dialogue driven, but you also felt as though that dialogue was edge of your seat. You didn't know what was coming next.
Mm-hmm.
The one scene where, what is the girl's name?
Ellie, yeah.
Ellie. Remember when she got separated from him after he got shot or something, and he was laying there resting, and she was out looking for stuff, and she almost died. Like that to me is like gripping. It's compelling.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you nervous because games like that, you never know. I feel like you can't ever say, well, she's the main character, she's not going to die. No, she could. She absolutely could. So I mean, I love this trailer. I didn't think it was as beautifully shot as Valhalla was, but I think I'm a little biased because of obviously my love for the Assassin's Creed franchise.
I think it's because this was in game. This
was very much in game.
It was in game while the Valhalla was a cinematic.
See, I don't ever think games should do that. I don't ever think when you're rolling out, it should always be a cinematic trailer that you give us.
Because that's what they did for the first Last of Us trailer, the part 2 trailer. They gave us a cinematic.
I'll go back and watch that. Like I don't ever really need, to me, and I know for a lot of gamers it's different, but to me, playability only matters when I could try it. Like you could show me how it plays and then I play it and I don't like it. So to me, I like the hands-on, let me see how it plays. For example, that Kakarot game for Dragon Ball Z that came out. Mm-hmm. I still haven't gotten it. But what I love about that is obviously it's free roam, and the playability looks like it's very much like Budokai. And I loved Budokai. Like Budokai is like the Dragon Ball Z game ever that will ever exist.
Played it nonstop.
Yes, sir. Man, I remember I burnt that PlayStation 2 out, AJ. Playing Budokai 1 and Budokai 2.
That's all me and my cousin played was Budokai. That's all. That was it.
And I remember thinking that 007 game was the only game that could ruin a friendship till Budokai. As soon as Budokai came out, because I would always only get either Goku or Vegeta, and everyone hated that. Like, yo, get someone else. No.
Nope. Nope.
Why? Why would I do that? That's stupid. So I mean, I just love that. But back to Last of Us Part Two. It really looks gripping. It really looks compelling. It was edge of your seat. It was kind of nerve wracking a little bit seeing where these characters plan on going in this new adventure. I'm looking forward to it, man. My dad has a PlayStation. I know he's gonna get it, so maybe I'll go over there, play it a lot. Kind of see how far I can get in it, but I will never buy a PlayStation, AJ. It will never be in my house.
Terrible.
It will never
Terrible.
be in my house. Sorry. It just will never happen. But is there anything else you want to add about Last of Us Part 2 of this trailer you got?
Yeah, I want to talk about the reactions of the spoiler. I'm not going to talk about the spoiler itself because it's terrible how it got leaked. But I think people are being super over dramatic about this, about what's being spoiled. I don't know if you watched it or anything.
No, I personally don't understand how you spoil a video game. But I mean, I don't really want us to get too much into it
No.
because I don't want people to watch this and think we're going to spoil anything. But to me, you can't really spoil. To me, movies and video games are different. Movies you can spoil because if you show me the last 5 minutes of the movie, even without context, it's still a spoiler because I'm looking forward to where that scene is, and I know, damn, like blah 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 is gonna die, so like I don't even care about the build up. Right, exactly. So to me, I look at a video game and I kind of go, but how do you know if it's a spoiler? Because a lot of games are self-altered, meaning like depending on what you choose in that game is what
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So I'm like, video games to me are different in that aspect because I could show you what phase A is, but then what happens if you take phase B? You never see phase A, so it doesn't matter to you. I'm not saying Last of Us 2 is that, but I'm saying to me, video games are all contextual. Like it's all about the context. With movies,
100% agree.
With movies, I can tell you Jackie Chan dies at the end, and you go, "Well, I don't even want to watch it now." Like,
he's the main star. What the
right? Like, what's the point of me watching it now? But in video games, I feel as though it's drastically different. So for everyone getting upset, I am curious how much of a so-called spoiler it is. I'll do the homework on my own. But to me, I find it very hard to, like, for example, and spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't beaten Spider-Man yet. But if I told you, AJ, man, Aunt May dies at the end of the Spider-Man game, you wouldn't go, well, why do I need to play it now? It's not the same, right? It's not the same. So.
No, okay, yeah. I was gonna say something, but it has a spoiler in it. So
don't say anything about it. I don't need people trying to get our video taken down because we mentioned any kind of spoilers in here.
I just think people are being super over dramatic. Even a lot of people are saying they're not gonna get the game anymore because of what happens. So I'm like,
people say that, AJ.
And then they get it. Yeah, I know.
And then they get it, man. And then they get it. Just like when people say, man, I don't want to see that movie. And then you look over and you're like,
but didn't you just say?
Weren't you just on Twitter saying you weren't going to be here? You're sitting right next to me. Well, I just want to see it so I can see how stupid it is. Right. So, I mean, to me, these people will buy this game. This franchise is too big for someone to go. A spoiler ruined my experience. And another thing about spoiling a game, sometimes people play games not for the story, but for the playability. They like how it flows. So, I mean, to them, it's, all right, cool, whatever. I'm still going to play it.
That's true, yeah.
So, I mean, look, me and AJ are looking forward to Last of Us Part 2. That drops the end of this month, not in June like I thought. We're looking forward to it. Please let us know in the comments below what you guys liked about this trailer, how stupid you guys think people are that get dramatic about spoilers for video games, and let us know, what is your love, Xbox or PlayStation? Let us know below, or Switch.
I was about to say, yeah, give some love to Switch.
I have both, so to me, it's a tie for me. I do want to say this, no disrespect to PlayStation whatsoever. I grew up on PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2. It's just once my dad gave me Xbox, I just felt comfortable from there. So it's all about comfort for me. It's nothing to do about playability or graphics or anything. I'm comfortable with what I've been playing since when did the first Xbox come out? 05, 06, yeah, around there. So that's all that's about. I want to squash that before that's even taken out of context. No hate for PlayStation. I'm just not turning my back on Xbox.
He's a hater. Hater.
Yeah. I mean, I am I am the leader of the haterade. So I don't disagree on that. But seriously, no disrespect to PlayStation. Anyone who has it, you have a great console. But like I said, let us know you guys' thoughts about this trailer down below. I know we went everywhere, but this is a video game breakdown. And since I didn't play it, I had to open it up so I could have a conversation. So thank you, AJ.
No problem.
Thank you guys for watching. Till next time.
Pieces.